Good. Good morning and welcome to your NFL pregame show, Routed Up with Meg and Whittle. On the other side of this, we will give you the biggest storylines, game of the week, upset of the week, who was on blowout notice, and more. That is all coming up next on Routed Up.
Whittle, what's good, man?
Hey, what's up, bro? What's going on?
Hey, what's going on, Meg?
What's up, man? What's going on?
Nothing, man. This Deuce. And we're looking to add an all AFC host for the NFL podcast. You think that'd be something you'll be interested in?
Yeah, man, let's do it.
Nothing. Look, I know you've been crazy busy. I've seen you, like, your bio has like 15 hashes of different stuff that you're doing. They want. Think you'll be interested in that?
I'm so happy y'all thought of me. Look at y'all. You know what? Let's do it.
Yeah, man. I had Meg from the Colts fan.
All right. Are you familiar with Whittle?
Yeah, I know Whittle.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah, definitely, man. I'd love to work with her again.
Schedule our first initial meeting a couple Mondays from now, and then we can get ready to rock on September 9th. That sounds good to you all?
Are we live?
Let's go! Let's go! Come on! Let's go! Let's go! Oh!
Good morning to the Route Up, presented by RedzoneDCMedia. It is week 2 in the National Football League. We got Meghan, we got Whittle. Family, what's going on today? How y'all feeling on this lovely Saturday morning?
Whittle probably wants to cry.
He failed me. He failed me on Monday, man. But you know, redemption comes tomorrow, less than 24 hours.
Okay.
Hey, man, it happens to the best of us. It happens a lot of times. But look, things going to be straightened out, and, you know, we're going to get some things corrected. So before we go ahead and get started with the route tree, what are some initial thoughts y'all had last week from y'all projections and predictions? How do you feel about it?
Mine were all bad. They were all bad. They were like all over the place. The only one I felt like I got like unequivocally right, even though it didn't happen the way I thought it was going to happen, was this Jets Bills game. Much to Whittle's, expense, but
yeah,
but it's all bad.
Yeah, man, it's a family show, so I'm not gonna really say what I want to say right now about last week. But
you can't say what you want.
Listen, it's probably not language friendly at all. It's probably a lot of 4-letter colorful words.
I was very upset in MetLife Monday night. Myself and the mayor of Bills Mafia, Lee Sean, aka Warlock 6. Yeah, man, we had a great time tailgating, but the game didn't go as we thought it would go. But as for the rest of the stretch of games, I thought the Chargers would win. They failed. I mean, and they failed in spectacular fashion, giving up 466 yards to Tua. But everything else kind of fell the way it was supposed to fall, I guess. I didn't see the Seahawks losing, though. That was strange.
It's a lot of strange things happening. Chiefs lost, Bills lost, like all these top teams losing. Like, what is happening?
Yeah. I mean, you know what, Meg? You know that the Bengals lost as well, and they played They played the Browns. The Browns played them very, very tough.
The
We lost.
The Browns just have their number, and I didn't mean to
Same
cut
thing
you
with the
off, but I was like, maybe Bengals will finally get it together. Which Joe Burrow just got paid all this money. I'm like, okay, cool. They're about to ball out. That was so disappointing. So disappointing.
Yeah, almost as disappointing as 4 interceptions attributed to one guy. But we're moving on. We're moving on. Let's please move on. Let's please move on.
DT, what you got for us?
All right, we're going to check out the route tree for week 2. And as you can see, we're going to start off with our storylines. So, obviously, we saw the big injury on Monday Night Football. So, how do you guys feel about the Jets, the life after Aaron Rodgers?
I mean, we won't talk about the Bill side. Let's talk about the Jets side. I can speak from this. Let me say this. It's a brutal blow for the Jets. To put the fans were. I mean, you could tell that they have been waiting on what feels like a lifetime to get something like an Aaron Rodgers, to be their franchise quarterback, and to watch it just all go so fast. I think that's absolutely brutal for that organization. It's brutal for him. It's a tough injury to come back from, period. But to do it at 39 years old is really, really rough. The other thing is, and I want to be very clear when I say this. This is really awkward for the Jets because they basically told Zach Wilson he wasn't the guy, and now they have to go back to same guy. I can imagine it's also awkward because maybe people got short-term memories, but there were Jets players last season who had Mike White shirts. They were all in on Mike White. And if I'm Zach Wilson, hey, listen, that he probably again has short-term memory, but it hasn't gone away, right? Like that's still there. There's still some doubt there of whether or not he can be the guy. And obviously he didn't really play his best, in that game, but they're going to have to roll with him now. So, y'all either need to find what works for him or whatever else. But in my opinion, you aren't winning this division unless you get the absolute best out of Zach Wilson, because that defense will give you chances, which you saw. They are the stuff of nightmares. But you need Zach Wilson to play lights out, and that's going to be tough for this franchise going forward.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't call it their defense stuff of nightmares. I mean, Josh Allen just gifted that game away to the Jets. But I have to say one thing about I told a couple of Jet fans, I said, man, we both lost tonight and Monday night. And it was sad because you never want to see injuries are part of the game, but you never want to see a guy of that caliber go down. And like 4 plays, man. I mean, the memes are already out with the short-term highlight, the Aaron Rodgers season highlights is just him running out carrying the flag, and then it goes to thanks for watching. So, I mean, the memes and stuff are out. It's probably a little too early for that stuff, but just the Jets are they're gonna have to make a move, like you said. If I'm Zach Wilson, no matter how well I play, I'm never playing for the Jets once my contract is up. I'm going anywhere but the Jets. I do think Hackett will get the best out of him. I think Hackett will have him on the move. I think they'll install some play action, some bootleg, some things that'll make it a little more comfortable for him. I do think that having Alan Lazard and having Breece Hall healthy will help immensely. That'll be a big help for Zach Wilson. That O-line is dreadful, so they're gonna have to make a move as far as getting him on the move and getting him outside of the pocket, letting him do some things with his legs in combination with his arm, simplifying the game. But there's already trade rumors. There's talk about Jameis Winston possibly being traded over to the Jets. There's talk about them going after potentially looking into Carson Wentz. Kaepernick's name was mentioned, but I don't think that's going anywhere. But they've asked for Matt Corral. I mean, there's been a lot of smoke around this rumor fire pit where the Jets are concerned. But in my opinion, life after Aaron Rodgers needs to be Zach Wilson. That's what the plan was. We bring Aaron Rodgers in. He works with the kid. We let Aaron Rodgers play this year and next year, and then turn the keys over to Zach Wilson in his 5th year. That just got sped up. Aaron Rodgers will still be in the facility. He'll still be rehabbing, and he'll still have the opportunity to work with Zach Wilson. He'll be in his ear. He can carry the clipboard and things like that. But yeah, Zach, it's up to Zach now. Zach's got to find whatever he can. He's got to find a way to multiply how well he plays against the Buffalo Bills and multiply that over the rest of the season. Limit his turnovers, use his legs, and just get out in space and make some plays. Like you said, that defense is going to give them a shot. He just has to not turn the ball over and get and put them in position to score, 17 points. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Game of the week: Ravens versus Bengals, Vikings versus Eagles.
Well, when we made these predictions, this is before we knew the outcome of the Vikings versus Eagles. But I definitely picked that as game of the week because I figured it would be a battle between Kirk Cousins and Jalen Hurts. But I did not see DeAndre Swift having a career night. That was probably what is happening here. I think that's got to feel so good for DeAndre Swift, to be quite honest with you. It's got to feel so good for him. I think he, has been trying to get to a moment like that for quite some time. So to see it happen pretty much on his first game with the Eagles is like, okay, all right. So they might find something there. And I'm so sorry for all of you folks who own Kenneth Gainwell on your fantasy teams. My condolences to you. But I mean, it was a good game. I think the Vikings they've disappointed me for 2 weeks in a row now, because I picked them to completely dismantle the Bucks, and Whittle was like, with that defense. So I have to, listen, I have to come correct and say, yep, my bad. And I didn't necessarily have them winning this game, but I thought they'd put up more of a fight and not try to get these garbage time kind of points late in the game. But the Eagles pretty much won that game, wholeheartedly. There was never a doubt in my mind that the Vikings might actually pull off, some sort of upset here. And to see Justin Jefferson without a touchdown, although there's a controversial call there, but to see him without a touchdown is almost feels otherworldly. What? All that yardage and no touchdown? The Vikings they got some question marks, man. They got to figure things out quick. And if I'm the Eagles, I'm feeling pretty good about myself, considering everyone thought they'd be dead in the water, without their two of their coaches, their offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator, and they look pretty good. So I don't know, but I'm gonna keep my eyes on them. What about you, Whittle, for Ravens? Was that Ravens Bengals your game of the week?
About that. Yeah, Ravens Bengals. There's a lot of history here, especially recently. The Ravens and the Bengals have been, they've been the mainstays at the top of that division for the past 3 years. Prior to that, it was kind of just the Ravens, and Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, and Jamar Chase get drafted, and voila, you have competition. And actually a division winner who's won that division what was it, 2 out of the last 3 years or something like that. So I think this is going to be a tough game. The Ravens have a laundry list of injuries. The Bengals are coming off a really, really rough game against the Browns, which was a divisional loss. They do not want to go down 0-2. They do not want to go down 0-2 overall and 0-2 in the division. So this is, I don't think it's a must win, but as good as this AFC conference is, this is as close to a must win as you can get for the Cincinnati Bengals. Now the Cincinnati Bengals have a history of running off a stretch of wins later on in the season. They're kind of like a good meal. You know what I'm saying? It's great. It's fine at day one, but leftovers the second day, man. That's like Thanksgiving leftovers. Like the older they get, they seem to get a little bit more appetizing. So,
Yeah.
the Bengals know how to turn it on later, but you don't want to dig yourself into a hole that you can't come out of. So this is a big game for them. I have questions about the Bengals offensive line. The Ravens pass rush starts with that interior, and then those guys on the edge can get after you. The secondary, it's not as good as it has been, but I think they have a bona fide safety duo that could be one of the best in the league. And Roquan Smith is, he's all world. So that defense going up against that Cincinnati offense is going to be a spectacle to watch. I need to see that Cincinnati defense deal with the running threat and throwing threat of Lamar Jackson and some of those weapons that he has. It's questionable whether or not Mark Andrews plays, but Mark Andrews is, he's the mainstay of that offense. They need him. J.K. Dobbins, prayers out to that young man. He went down again and he suffered a season-ending injury. So, that's tough. It's tough because he actually was looking good in week one, but it's tough, and we wish that man the best. But I guess we'll move on to the upsets, unless you want to chime in about the Ravens and Bengals.
No, my only thoughts is I love divisional rival games when it's not obviously my division. But this is going to be a really good matchup. And again, Joe Burrow just got paid all that money. Like, come on, Joe Burrow. He cut his hair and everything because he's trying to get right. So yeah, let's see. I really think this will be a really good matchup, especially for Lamar Jackson too, coming back. Of course, after contract dispute this offseason. But the Ravens do have to kind of just keep rolling. This injury bug has been sitting with them for a couple seasons now, and I think they just kind of got to adjust and go. So yeah, I look forward to this game.
All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break, presented by promo by our lovely Lady E, member of Red Zone DC Media. And when we come back, we will finish the route tree and give you our leaders of the week.
Hey y'all, what's up? It's your girl Lady E. Make sure y'all catch us on Falcons Tuesday. That's every Tuesday at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. And for my people that live in the Central Time, 5:30. Okay, this is where we go down and we talk about the Falcons game. We talk about Falcons information, breaking news, everything. And if you even just want to vent about them Atlanta Falcons, come on, because baby, Dirty Bird Nation be ready for you and be ready to hear it. So like I said, catch us out on the spaces on Twitter. You can find me at Lady E_. Tell them. Love y'all. Mwah.
And welcome back to the route tree. Upsets of the week: Vikings versus Eagles, Cardinals over Giants.
Well, we already know.
Yeah, I'm gonna take this one first.
Yeah.
Listen. I was almost right, and I had started my victory lap in the first quarter of that game when the Vikings had turned. They had stuffed the Eagles. They were making the Eagles look kind of bad. They were moving the football, and they just kept giving it back. I'm like, dude, if you guys could just hold on to the football. What was it? Was it four fumbles or 3 fumbles and an interception? I think it was. There were so many turnovers, and they were just you force a punt, great punt return, fumble, give the ball right back. The Vikings should have been up, and then and then the Jettas fumble on the sideline right before halftime. It's just like, bro, you gotta live for another. Yeah, I hate that rule. I think it's stupid, and we need to get rid of it. But I get it. It's one of those plays where it's like no, yes, if it works, but it didn't work. So now it's just like, bro, you got to be more careful with the football. I'm not going to say that because I want my players to make winning plays. I get upset if you turn the football over and it's dumb. If you're trying to make a winning play, that I get that, and you got to kind of live with those. But listen, we watched Jordan Addison, pop off the screen and set himself apart from every other rookie receiver so far. He is legit. That offense is legit. Shout out to Alexander Madison. He did not have a great game, but definitely prayers up for him. His DMs were attacked by a bunch of disgruntled Minnesota fans. I don't even want to describe them as disgruntled. A bunch of racists. They, a lot of N-words, a lot of you should shoot yourself, and all these different things. And one thing that he said, underneath this helmet, I'm a man, I'm a son, I'm a father, I'm a human. And that 100% right. We look at these players as larger than life sometimes, and we just have to sometimes remember these people are human. These guys are human as well. They have families, they have feelings. So, you got to be more mindful when the guy from your team doesn't play well. That guy stinks. Get him out of here. Listen, relax. Okay, it's just a game, and that man has a family. That man has people who love and care about him. So, I am disappointed with the Minnesota Vikings because I thought that they were going to pull that out. They looked like they could, but they weren't able to. And if anything, to me, this game doesn't say a whole. It says something about the Vikings, but to me, it says a whole lot more about those Eagles. And we'll discuss that another time.
I mean, the Eagles are pretty resilient. Let me say that because, like I said, in my mind. And let me be very truthful. I missed first part of the game. I had an event that I had to go to, so I was catching up as I was, walking in the door and everything else. And but in my mind, I was like, okay, the Eagles they finally looked like how I thought they might look. But again, a lot of that is attributed to. I think we talked about this. You and I had been chopping it up via text about that Vikings defense. And I said, oh, well, hey, Brian Flores will get them, right together. And I think you were like, just chill.
Right.
And yeah, DeAndre Swift kind of carved them up pretty easily with no issues. I think for the Vikings, they've got to be able to finish games. Obviously, turnovers don't help, right? And if like I know that points off of turnovers is what is going to do you in. It's one thing to turn the ball over. It's another thing to have the other team go down and score or go down and put any sort of a field goal, whatever on the board after those turnovers. That is just a double whammy. So I think for the Vikings, yeah, they've got questions. The Eagles also still have to play cleaner football, right? The football they played is not going to necessarily take them all the way back to the Super Bowl. So that's something to think about. I'll talk very quickly about my upset of the week. It's probably going to get some people like, what? Excuse me? My upset of the week is Cardinals over Giants. I was not impressed with the Giants at all. A 40-0, just all-out drubbing in the rain, mind you. 40-0 in the rain is crazy to me. And I think the thing is there's a lot of questions about the Giants, which makes me believe that hey, they could come in. This Cardinals team doesn't have a whole lot of a whole lot of firepower to it. Didn't even know who your quarterback was going to be up until a couple days ago. So I could see them, looking past this game and moving right along. Oh yeah, this is probably a win. That sort of thing. People will never tell you that. They're like, oh no, we take every game seriously, but fans will be like, oh, no. We're going past this game. I think that the Giants could be in for trouble. They really could be if they start 0-2. And at this point, nobody's looking for this Cardinals team. Kyler Murray's not here. Nuke is gone. Nuke Hopkins is gone. Nobody's checking for them. So I would not be shocked to see something like this happen where, Cardinals pull out a big upset in the desert.
There's a church song that my church used to sing, the choir, and it's called "There Is No Way," and I'm going to apply that to this upset alert. There is no way Brian Daboll allows. There's no way he lets his team come out and not light the scoreboard up. I would be shocked if the
I
Giants
would be too. I had
lose
to.
this
I mean, I had to
game.
get a little spicy for the upset of the week.
Oh, you cooking with gas now because this is spicy. I know Brian Daboll as the coach, as our
Yeah,
offensive coordinator for Josh
yeah.
Allen's first 4 years. And listen, he's a no nonsense. Let's go in the bathroom and lock the door type of coach. He's not going to let them go out there and put together that type of showing again. I don't see it, but hey, that's your pick, and we're gonna see. We're gonna come back and revisit this every week on Saturdays.
Hey,
So
I think I messaged Deuce in the middle of that Jets Bills game, and I was like, after Aaron Rodgers went down, I was like, is there any way I could change my pick mid game?
yeah,
But that one worked out. I did pick the Jets, for that one.
yeah.
But
My
yeah.
man Lee Shaw was sitting next to me, and when A-Rod went down, he looks over me. He was like, "Oh, man, I ain't want to win like this." And I was like, "Well, we still got a lot of game left, but," I said, "it's looking good for us. I'm not gonna lie."
Yeah.
He said, "Man, we beat the Jets without Aaron Rodgers. I can't even talk trash." So,
Well, you definitely can't
and
talk trash
luckily,
now.
luckily we didn't have that dilemma because we lost. So, moving on.
Are we doing, I guess, blowout alert? Is that the next
Blowout.
thing?
Blowout alert. Cardinals and Raiders.
So what I'm letting you talk about this since I have upset of the week. You got
Right.
Cardinals on blowout alert.
I got the Cardinals on blowout alert because I simply don't believe that they will that Dayball is going to allow this Giant team with all these new additions on offense and on defense and how well they performed last year. Brian Daboll there's one thing about Brian Daboll that you can bank on. You can bank on a great game plan. You can bank on consistency. And what you saw last week was inconsistent with Brian Daboll's game plan. So this week, Brian Daboll's game plan will be implemented. I believe that he this week has been a military drill sergeant in that Giants practice facility. They will be ready to go. I think the loss of Andrew Thomas really, really, really hurt the Giants. He's their best offensive lineman, but this is the NFL. It's next man up. Saquon, I think you're going to get a ton of Saquon. You're going to get a ton of Daniel Jones running the football because that's what was successful last week when the Cardinals played the Commanders. Howell was able to get out in space and make some plays on the ground. So I think that they're going to try to exploit that. That Cardinals secondary played inspired. They still have Buda Baker back there. They got some young talent that young talent. It's young talent, so it's unproven, but it's untested as well. And you don't want to be the test that determines that these guys are great. So I think they're going to keep the ball on the ground as much as possible. The Giants will. They're going to try to beat this Cardinals team up front, and I think that defense is going to be flying all over the place. They have an entire week to get Isaiah Simmons spun up on how exactly they're going to use him. Their performance last week was unacceptable, and if the Giants are a good team, which I think they are, I think they're on the verge of becoming one of the better teams in the league. This is a game that you have to win, and you have to win convincingly because you lost so poorly last week.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'm gonna say mine really quickly. I've got the Raiders on blowout alert because I think you're gonna get a pissed off Josh Allen and a pissed off Stephon Diggs. And my condolences to you. Good luck. May the odds be ever in your favor. Because I think after a 4 turnover game, yeah, you're gonna come out and see Josh Allen light it up. I will save my thoughts on what that looks like from a passing standpoint. But yes, they are my blowout alert game for this week. I'm so sorry, Raiders. It does not look good for you.
I kind of gotta agree. I want to agree completely, but I don't want to be a homer as well. Like you
can be a homer. It's fine. It's fine.
Y'all know what I'm about. Y'all see it, right? Listen. After 4 turnovers, this thing can go 2 ways. Josh Allen, since he's been in the league, has always been the underdog, the guy that everybody's rooting for. Well, that's not the case now. A lot of the media is rooting for him to fail. A lot of people on social media are rooting for him to fail, and this is new for him. This is new for him to be. I don't want to say a villain, but you're not the shiny new toy anymore. You're not the hero story that everybody, that everybody gravitated to. So this is different, and we're gonna find out a lot about his mental makeup. You have 4 turnovers. You are the sole reason. 17. You are the sole reason why the Buffalo Bills lost Monday night against the Jets. So how do you respond this week? And that's what this comes down to. If he responds great, the Buffalo Bills will roll this team. I think the Bills defense is as good as advertised. I think that they gave up a couple of big runs against the Jets last week, but those were due to missed tackles. I watched the all 22 like 3 times yesterday. Trey White, if this ever gets to you, listen, man, attack the football, bro. They're in 3 tight ends. They're not throwing the football. They are running. Attack the ball carrier. All of this standing around and trying to wait and react. No, man. Attack the ball carrier. At least slow the man up. Jesus Christ. But anyway, we'll move right along.
All right, DT, what you got for us?
We're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we'll get into our leaders of the week.
What up, y'all? This is your boy AD from the H-Town Rundown Podcast. Y'all go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. Follow us on Twitter at the H-Town Rundown. Y'all go ahead and follow us as well on YouTube at the H-Town Rundown Podcast. Go ahead and follow us on Spotify as well at the H-Town Rundown Podcast, man. Appreciate y'all, man.
All right. Week 2, your passing leader of the week.
Yeah. I'll kind of run through. I think you asked for passing, rushing, receiving. I'll run through those guys. See, we're a little over time here, so I'll make sure I'm efficient here. Well, rushing is DeAndre Swift. Listen, if somebody gets more than 175 yards, yeah, I think that is your rushing leader for the week. Passing, it's Josh Allen. And I said it with my blowout alert of the week. I think Josh Allen probably comes out and has 400 yards. That's just how I'm feeling. Receiving, I actually think it's going to be Tyreek Hill, which I know is probably really tough to do. I think Jetta's had like 160 plus, something like that. I think maybe Tyreek comes out and puts up like 180. I don't know. Hey, listen, it's Tyreek Hill. He's bound to do those things. So those are my thoughts. What you got, Whittle?
Okay. I so want to go Daniel Jones right here, but I'm not, because I don't think Daniel Jones is going to be able to do much of. I don't think he's going to be able to replicate or put up the numbers that you need in order to make it happen like that. We're getting Kelsey back. I'm not a fan of the Jags pass rush. I think I'm going to go Mahomes here. The Chiefs are coming off of a loss. Kelsey's coming back. He's probably going to be a bit hobbled, but I just think that this is one of those situations where the Jags' run defense is a lot better than their pass defense. Pat Mahomes does not like to lose. Tony and the rest of those guys have to redeem themselves. I think you're going to see Josh, Jesus. You're going to see Pat Mahomes come out and try to light the scoreboard up and light the stat sheet up. I think the Mahomes is going to go out there and against a conference opponent that, everybody is, they're the hot new ticket since Aaron Rodgers went down. Everybody's on the Jags bandwagon train. I think Kansas City. Oh, well, not you, of course, not you, but I listen. I think Patrick Mahomes and that offense is going to go out there and try to put those guys on the hub. And if you know.
They could try. I'll say this, just FYI, Pat Mahomes does have a losing record against the AFC South. So just want to throw that out there. Not that it won't be a good game, but just, hey, I know folks look past the AFC South because they're like, oh, this is the worst division in football. But
no, that's the NFC South.
Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry, NFC South. But just FYI, he does have a losing record against the AFC South. So.
That's a good point you bring up. But I remember that playoff game last season, and before Patrick Mahomes sprained his ankle, that thing was getting ready to get real ugly. The Chiefs were doing whatever they wanted, whenever and however they wanted to do it. So I think, but the Chiefs coming off of a loss, I think they're gonna try to embarrass the Jags. So that's my passing leader. Rushing leader, I am going to go with Bijan. I'm going to go with Bijan. And the reason why I'm going to go with Bijan is because that Packers secondary is amazing. It's amazing. And they're dealing with a lot of injuries on the offensive side of the football. A bunch of their weapons are out. Aaron Jones is out for the Packers. Christian Watson is likely out. Dobbs is still, not well. He's not 100%. So the Falcons will have more. They'll have opportunities because I think their defense is legit enough that they'll be able to kind of keep the Packers offense corralled a bit. So they'll get more opportunities. And I think that the Falcons are going to do what they do best. They're going to take the ball out of Desmond Ritter's hands and put it in the hands of one of their running backs. And I think that's going to be Bijan. Bijan is going to get touches. He's going to get carries early, often, and late in this game. So that's my rushing leader.
All right, I'll tell you.
All right. We got to the end of the show. So, what are your guys' final thoughts heading into Sunday of week 2?
I'll jump in and say I'll give my hot take as well with my final thoughts. So this is my hot take. My hot take is I think that this is going to be the end for Brandon Staley. Don't ask me how. Don't ask me how that's going to happen. But I do not think he'll be the Chargers head coach come the offseason. He almost wasn't this season, if you've been paying attention. There are a lot of questions about Brandon Staley. And I think if the Chargers don't live up to the expectations, especially because Herbert just got paid, I really think you're going to feel that heat come on. So that's my thoughts there. But otherwise, I'm just looking forward to a really good week 2. There was a lot of chaotic things happening in week 1. In my opinion, this is why it makes the NFL the superior league when it comes to football, of course, and superior in talent, of course, as well, too. That's no shade to college football. Just, hey, big NFL football fan. But I really think the other thing here to think about is there's another showdown, which I didn't get to talk about, but it's Anthony Richardson against CJ Stroud. That is a really nice matchup, too. And that's just not coming from me because I'm a Colts fan, but it's a nice matchup because it's top draft picks and you want to see what's going to happen there. Thanks for the Texans that they are a little banged up. So we'll see how that game goes. But otherwise, yeah, we just want to see some good football matchups this week. We need Whittle to get back in the win column because I don't want to have to see him cry again next week. So that's the end of my final thoughts.
Yeah, I'm just going to jump in real quick, and I'm going to ignore that last little jab. But, man, come on. Showdown between Anthony Richardson and CJ Stroud.
It's
a machine gun going against a 6-shooter. Come on now. We know Anthony Richardson's the guy. Come on now.
Listen, let me say this. I was pleasantly surprised by what I saw of Anthony Richardson. Not that I wasn't expecting that, but I was pleasantly surprised that he had the best rookie debut. For the guy with the most questions, he had the best rookie debut. Take it for what it's worth. It wasn't perfect, but he was giving his team a chance to win, which I will take that 9 times out of 10 all day.
Not to toot my own horn, but before this draft took place, I said that Anthony Richardson would be the best rookie quarterback out of all of them this year. And I mean, not to toot my own horn, but too. I think this is a week where we find out about, this is going to be a big, I don't want to say a gender reveal, but this is the big reveal week for the NFL. I think there are a bunch of storylines that we have to look into and say, we need to know who you actually are. And this week will tell us that. The Dolphins are going up against the Patriots. The Dolphins lit the scoreboard and the stat sheet up against the Chargers, but it's the Chargers. The Chargers don't really play defense like that. We know that. This week, they got Bill Belichick and that Patriots defense. That Patriots defense is pretty healthy, and they looked great against the Eagles last week. If it wasn't for Mac Jones giving them a 16-point head start, the Eagles most likely lose that game. So we find out how legit the Dolphins are this week. If they can go out and bombs away on the Patriots, then we got to start taking them serious. The Browns. We need to find out if the Browns are really who they say they are. They looked great last week against the Bengals, but they always look great against the Bengals. Let's see if Myles Garrett has another crossover move for Kenny Pickett and them boys this week. I don't know, but we're going to find out. Deshaun Watson still has not looked great. And that Steelers defense with TJ Watt and those linebackers, Alex Highsmith, they did lose Cam Hayward, but Keanu Benton is a man-child. They're going to deploy him. Minka Fitzpatrick's back there. Like that defense is still legit. So it's another test for Deshaun Watson, and time is running out for him to shut the doubters up. Who else we got here? The Giants. Like I said before, the Giants. We got to find out whether or not you're a good team, and this is what we find out. This is how we find out. You guys got to go out there and you guys got to put 1 million points on the Cardinals and make everybody be quiet about how bad you guys looked and how much paying Jones $40 million was a mistake. We find out whether Josh Allen is mentally tough. Come out and beat the Raiders up, and then and you're good. And then we can just keep on rolling. The 49ers with Brock Purdy. Let's see what you do against this defense and this Rams defense. Aaron Donald is a man-child and best defensive tackle in the league. And if you can light it up against them, then we gotta give you credit for being who you say you are. And I think that's about it. That's about it, man. Another week in the books. Another week in the books.
We'll see how bad my picks look this week.
Well, I mean, you're starting off. No, you picked the Eagles against the Vikings, right? Or did you?
I did. I picked the Eagles over the Vikings. Yes.
So I'm starting off 0-1 again. I'm 0-1 last week and 0-1 this week. So far, so.
I mean, but you recovered well. So my picks, I was just like, really, Meg? Like, I was like, you're making yourself look bad out here.
Yeah, Seattle's got to bounce back though. That's gonna be a tough one for them. Seattle and the Lions. It's a good slate of games.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
All right, DT, what's up, baby?
Man, we just finished up the show. We just finished the Roundtree family. And we're going to see you guys next Saturday. We're going to give our reactions and stuff later on this week to week 2. This is Rounded Up, presented by RedzoneDCMedia. And we'll guys see you on this channel next Saturday. Stay safe, family.